Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, One Star Week from the We are back for another video today. Don't look now, but it's another RTG episode. But it's not just any RTG episode. It's not just any video. It's a special video today. This is a video that pretty much I've been working on pretty much all year. Low-key, I have been working on gathering the best possible Everton players every time there was an SBC. Every time I had an opportunity to get one of these Everton players at a decent price, I did it. I mean, we got Seamus Coleman, who I did his SBC a long time ago. I've only used him for 56 games because I did him with the sole intention of doing this Everton team down the road. So finally got to use this guy. I also have Delph, who I've been saving. I could have thrown him into SBC so many different times, but he's still with the club. Same with Moise Kean. And we also got Andre Gomez from level 15 of objective. So this is going to be the Everton team today. I'm going to walk you guys through why I selected the players I did. But before I go any further, if you're enjoying the content, if you want more content like this, if you're just rocking with One Star Weak Foot, even though FIFA is dead, done, dusted, resting in piss, do me a favor, hit the like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, as always, please subscribe to the channel. So how I'm playing this team is in a 4-4-2. I think it's the best formation for the Everton players I do have the option of bringing in. For the strike force, I did think I had to go with Richarlison. I mean, Richarlison is the best Everton player in real life, and in FIFA, he's definitely the best, most usable player, being that the meta is dribbling, 5-star weak foots, everything like that on this game. We have Moise Kean here, and I had a couple options. I could have brought in Prime Moments Lineker. I also could have tried to fit in Lukaku, who are both very, very good options. The reason why I went with Kean here is because Lineker, even though he's better than Kean, is just too expensive. I pretty much don't have many coins left on this account because it is an RTG. And when you look at Kean's stats, despite the fact that he has a 3-star combination, the medium work rates, I mean, he's still a very decent card at this stage of the game. His finishing is there. He has decent dribbling stats for a man of his stature. And he's just a very well-rounded card as far as strikers go, especially given that he was released months and months back. So I did bring Kean on. I'm also a fan of him in real life. I'm hoping he kicks on next year. So it was fun to give him a go, even at the end of this game cycle. We have Bernard here, and he was pretty much the only option I could have brought in at the left mid position. We don't have any other left mids on this game at all who are usable. I mean, I know last year we had Onyekuru, who we had on Everton for a little bit, but this year Onyekuru did not get a team of the season, so we had to bring in Bernard. And we look at this card, he's actually a very usable card still. I mean, he's very meta, being that he's 5'5", he has a 4-star combination, still has decent pace, still has decent shooting and passing, and what really makes him meta is that agility and balance combo, so I definitely was happy to bring him in. The midfield on this team, I think, might be the weakest link on paper. I mean, I know we got Sexry, Andre Gomez. We were lucky enough to get him as a level 15 objective this season. And, I mean, he's actually a very, very decent card as far as the meta goes still. But then we had to use Fabian Delph. I had a couple options here. I could have brought in Baumann into the midfield, but I didn't really have any center back options that are really usable at this stage of the game. So I brought Baumann in into the center back position. I could have also brought Gana Gay into the midfield, but once again, I don't have any usable center backs on this game that played for Everton. So I had to bring Delph in, and he's actually not a bad card. I mean, he has very good dribbling stats, so that he's still press resistant in some respects. He's a very well-rounded card. I mean, of course, would you be using this card any other way or in any other reason? Probably not, but he was good enough. I deemed him good enough. Now we're gonna look at possibly the weakest link on this team, not informed Theo Walcott, and he was somebody that people didn't even use at the beginning of the game for their starter squads, and I'm using him at the end of the game with his summer heat cards out. And just like in real life, the right mid position is our big weakness as far as Everton goes. I don't really have any other options here. I mean, I suppose I could have brought Kean, brought him to the right mid position, started Lukaku. I could have also brought Bolasie in somehow, but the chem just wasn't going to work out. So I had to bring Theo Walcott in, unfortunately, and he's just a bad card. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's nothing on this card that's meta, aside from his decent pace. I mean, his shooting is bad, his passing is bad, his dribbling is horrendous, and his physical stats are bad. And it's hard for me to say that this is unrealistic. This is very realistic for him. I had to throw a Deadeye Camp Style on him just to make him somewhat usable, but yo, yeah, I do not have much to say about this card. Now we're gonna move on to the defense, and I think the defense was not bad at all when you look at it on paper. I mean, we got Lucas Dean, probably one of the best left backs in the EPL. Not being biased, I do think that's a fact. He's been linked to Chelsea, linked to Man City this year, and there's a good reason why. It's very good in real life. His best possible card on this game actually looks like a very well-rounded card, with the only issue, of course, being the lack of pace. I was hoping that EA was gonna drop and then the Vanera Leighton Baines so that I could bring Dean into the center back position, which would then bring or free up Bauman to then move into the midfield. But alas, it didn't happen, so Dean was the left back. The center back pairing here is a little controversial. We have Ganagay, who got a center back card. And of course, he's not the most ideal center back. He's short. He's just not that big, not that strong. But on paper, I thought he was one of my best options at the center back position. I could have brought in second inform Michael Keane. I could have brought in inform Yerry Mina. I could have brought in not inform Mason Holgate. But all of those cards just don't look up to it, even at this stage of the game. Also, I mean, Mina, Keane, or any inform on this game are pretty much extinct. So those weren't even a possibility even if I wanted. We have Bauman, who, to be fair, looks like a meta center back. If you used him a few months ago, he has the pace, he has the defending, he has the physical. He's a very big body in game, so I thought him and Gay actually made a very good pairing on paper. We also have Seamus Coleman at the right back position, which I'm not complaining about at all. He's probably one of the best players on this team on paper. Looks very similar to Zambrata as far as his stats go. Of course, he doesn't have the 5-star weak foot. Of course, he doesn't have the 4-star skill moves. But as far as right back options go, he was far and away the best option. Unfortunately, I had to use Jordan Pickford at goalkeeper. And as you can imagine, he's just not really who you want to use. He's 6'1". Short keepers on FIFA are never good. And I don't really have anything good to say about him. So let's move on to the bench. We got Lukaku and Bolasie. I did want to bring in one more player off the bench. I wanted to bring in inform Sidibe, but once again, he was extinct. And there was really nobody else that was worth bringing onto the bench. Lukaku, we did pack him from a Team of the Week upgrade or something. No. We packed him from an 89 upgrade. And he does have some usable stats. He has the finishing, the physical. That's about it. He's not really a great card, but off the bench, probably one of our best options. And of course, we have Bolasie. Once again, I had so many options of using him in SBCs, but I just didn't want to because I thought he'd come in handy for the Everton team, and here we are. We've actually used him quite a bit. 72 games played, 16 goals, 7 assists. And even at this stage of the game, he's not too bad. He has the pace, he has the passing, he has the 5-star, 4-star combination. His dribbling stats are pretty decent, and of course, he brings that physical presence off the bench. So yeah, we're gonna jump into the gameplay. I'm gonna let you guys know how my Everton Weekend League went, and I'm gonna let you guys know how these players are. Let's get it. All right, so you might be wondering how it is to use a team like this at the end game stage of FIFA 20. And I do think I got the real Everton experience, because if you watch Everton this year, I don't know why you would, unless you're an Everton fan. You'll know that in a lot of games, you're just outmatched team-wise. Our team is very lacking in a lot of places, namely the midfield and the right wing positions. And I felt like I was Carlo Ancelotti, so that's why we got myself and Carlo Ancelotti in the thumbnail combined, because I felt like I was Ancelotti. I was grinding out wins against teams that were way better than mine with the squad I had. And it did feel like I got an Everton experience. I did feel like I had the same weaknesses that Everton had in real life. And yeah, I mean, at this stage of the game, I was out-teamed. I played 17 games with this team. I was out-teamed in every single game. I mean, I was facing people with summer heat cards. I was facing people with lone icons, lone team of the season so far cards, lone team of the year cards. I mean, it was absolutely dreadful. There was no game where I was evenly matched or even had a better team than the opponent. So it was interesting, and it made every single win or every single goal I scored more rewarding in that way. So we're gonna review this team in each part of the team. So first we're gonna talk about the attack. And the strike force was pretty good. We have Richarlison and we have Moise Kean. Richarlison played 22 games in total for my team. Most of them were in the weekend league. The total stats are 11 goals and 10 assists. And just like in real life, I felt like Richarlison was the main heart of this team, the main focus of this team. He was the only one on this team really capable of making anything special happen. And just like in real life, I felt like my opposition really focused on defending him, because when you look at the other attacking options, we have Moise Kean, we have not informed Theo Walcott, and we have Bernard. And yeah, I felt like I was very reliant on Richarlison just to make things happen, and that's why he didn't score that many goals. I felt like there were so many times that the opponent would double mark him, and I had to pass off to Bernard, I had to pass off to Keane, I had to pass off to Walcott. And the only one out of those three players that are a viable finishing option is Moise Kean. I know he's not the most meta card with a 3-star, and the 6-foot height, but he was still able to finish a lot of goals even at this stage of the game. So I think him and Richarlison as a strike partnership were actually pretty decent. I didn't really have many issues scoring a lot of goals. I just had a lot of issues in the tight games scoring the special goals, scoring the go-ahead goals, if that makes any sense. We're going to talk about the wingers, though. We got Bernard, who surprisingly is still decent at this stage of the game. I wouldn't really use him. I wouldn't go out of my way to suggest him, but if you need a cheap option that could dribble, bring the ball up and down the pitch, and also maybe play centrally at the cam position, I do think he's very good. His dribbling is still very nice. He still has very nice pace. He still possesses that playmaking capability. Where he did let me down, though, was his lack of finishing and his overall lack of composure. His composure stat, 75. We have Theo Walcott, and the less said about him, the better. He let me down in so many games. I had so many sitters that I set him up for, and he missed them time after time. He scored 0 goals for me in 17 games. He only got 2 assists. And just like in real life, he's quick. He's able to position himself very effectively, but the finish is poor. The dribbling is non-existent, and he was definitely by far the weakest link on this team. At halftime, every single game, I would sum him off for Bolasie, who wasn't a great player, but he was a very good super sub. He was very much more capable of bringing the ball up and down the pitch and retaining possession, because Walcott was just not good at doing either one of those things. We also had Lukaku coming off the bench. Initially, I would sub Moise Kean off for Lukaku at halftime, but I actually found Moise Kean to be better, being that he is much lighter on the ball and much more fluid, feeling much more quick in game. Lukaku was much more reliable as a late game option, like in the 70th, 80th minute, or in extra time. He did do a lot better in those situations. Of course, Lukaku brings the hold-up play, the physical presence. His finish was very clinical on his left foot, but as expected, he doesn't bring anything else, and he's just not the most meta player. Next, we'll talk about the midfield, and it was a midfield pairing that had Andre Gomez and foot miss Fabian Delph. And just like in real life, Fabian Delph is pretty bad. All right, he didn't really contribute anything to my team at all. I mean, he's pretty average at everything. His dribbling is still decent, but yeah, he's just a very average player. I did not really enjoy using him, but I had no other options. In certain games, he just felt like I had no midfield, and I wasn't mad at it, because in real life, Everton's main weakness is the midfield. They feel like they have no midfield. So in this game, I felt like I got the true Everton experience using Fabian Delph. And then we move on to Andre Gomez. You might be wondering, is he worth the unlock? I think he's a very good card, actually. He does have the pace. He feels a lot like a poor man's Pogba, because he's 6'2". He has the 4-star combination. He does a little bit of everything very well. I mean, he's a very physical card. He has 91 physical. He has very decent defending stats at 86 defending. His dribbling is surprisingly smooth, despite the fact that he has 76 agility, despite the fact that he's 6'2". His shooting was very hit or miss, just like Pogba is, and his passing was brilliant. So I did think he was the heart and soul of this midfield, and then just like in real life, he was the only decent midfielder that I had on this game. Finally, we will be talking about the defense, and we have Lucas Digne at the left back position. And you might be wondering, how was 83 pace on this game, being that everybody has 99 pace? And you'd be surprised with the catch-up system on this game. 83 pace on left back is not as bad as you would think. I mean, I did have to play on 3 depth in this 4-4-2 because of the lack of pace in my defense in general. But I didn't feel like he ever got burnt. He was very reliable defensively. He was a very good playmaker as far as the left back position goes. And I would have to rate him a 7 out of 10. He was very solid. We also have the pairing of Ganagay and Bauman. And against the top tier players, like let's say I was against team of the season Ronaldo, which I faced multiple times. Let's say I was against team of the season Neymar, which I faced multiple times. it was very hard to defend them. I'm not gonna lie. They are players that just can't hang with the top tier players of this game. But as far as the other players go, like let's say the more common Summer Heat players, the more common Team of the Season players, they held their own. I mean, Ghana Gay, I would say definitely feels like Conte. His stance tackle is immense. His break of play is very, very good. And he has the agility to hang with the more meta players of this game. His pace of 78 is not ideal, but he never really got burnt either. I really enjoyed Gay as a center back, surprisingly. And Bauman, he did feel like a poor man's Varane. He's big. He has the pace. He has the defending and physical. When it came to defending the more meta players of this game, his tackle was a bit sloppy. His positioning at times was a bit sloppy. But other than that, I did feel like he was a viable option at the center back position. And then we have Seamus Coleman. I think he was a very reliable right back. Still at this stage of the game, I do think he's very, very usable. He did a lot of things very well. He didn't stand out in any aspect of this game, but the key word I would use for him was reliable. And now we have Jordan Pickford. And I think him along with Walcott were the weakest links of this team. I mean, he's 6'1". He doesn't have the best stats, and he let so many stupid goals in. People would just bang long shots on him all game long because he just didn't have the arms to block him. I mean, if I could do it over, I would try to use any other goalkeeper besides Pickford. I would use Stecklenburg. I would use Lossell. I would use any goalkeeper aside from him because he was just a nightmare. I do not recommend using him. I do not ever recommend bringing him onto your team for any reason. He's just a horrible goalkeeper on this game. I did finish the weekend league 8-9. And you might be thinking that's a bad record. But when you consider that I was out-teamed by a lot in every single one of these games, I just felt like 8-9 was as good as it was going to get. I did want to hit Silver 1. I did want to hit Gold 3. I just didn't really have the time or the patience to play this game. It was very delayed. I had a lot of things to do this weekend. And it's just not really rewarding to use a team like this against Mega Squad after Mega Squad after Mega Squad in delayed gameplay. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like if I used my regular team, I would have definitely hit Gold 3, Silver 1 with the amount of games I played, but I didn't. And I do think if I played this whole 30 game thing out with this team, I probably would have hit Gold 3. So I don't think it's the worst finish in the world. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you want me to do more content like this? I'm definitely open for it. I'm here for it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then.